My name is Gina Hollenbeck, and I'm a nurse who got lung cancer. Back in 2015, when I was diagnosed, I never expected someone with absolutely no risk factors could get lung cancer. But we found out shortly that I did have stage 4 lung cancer that had metastasized to my brain. I was a picture of health, and in fact, I even taught smoking cessation classes. About a year after I was diagnosed, a friend of mine also was diagnosed. I was lucky enough to have an amazing doctor who knew to do biomarker testing. And so I begged for her to go see my doctor as well so she could get the same care. She had a history of smoking, and they did do biomarker testing. And in fact, she did have a biomarker. And once she was actually diagnosed, she started doing a little bit better, but then her health quickly declined. And I remember thinking in the ICU towards her last days that no one deserves lung cancer. And so I got very excited about advocating for lung cancer awareness and thinking that, anyone with lungs could get lung cancer. And so part of my advocacy was telling everybody that anyone could get lung cancer. And the way that I said that is, I'm a non-smoker. And I kept telling everybody, I'm a non-smoker who got lung cancer. And I had it all over a website, and my intentions were really, really good. My intentions were to increase funding for lung cancer research so that people could realize that anyone with lungs could get lung cancer. But what I didn't realize I was doing is actually adding to the stigma of this disease. Luckily, we have some amazing advocates, some that are very kind and generous. And Jill Feldman, during a speech at the National Lung Cancer Roundtable, was actually saying how many advocates actually contribute to the stigma of lung cancer. And during that meeting, it clicked with me while I was listening to her speak. And it was one of those kind of light moments where all of a sudden I was like, I'm the one who's saying I'm not a smoker. And actually, by making it either a smoker or not smoker disease, actually contributed to the stigma of lung cancer. So I immediately went to my website and changed everything that said that I was a non-smoker. And actually, during that meeting, I had a friend call my husband and say, I was just diagnosed with lung cancer. And my husband told her, you need to go see Gina's doctor. He's amazing. And she said, no, I don't deserve the same care that Gina got because I smoked my entire life. And she put the stigma back onto herself. And I realized that all of my campaigning about being a non-smoker actually contributed to her believing that she didn't deserve the same level of care that I was getting. And so as I continued with my advocacy, I really made sure to consider the language that I was using in advocacy and making sure that I didn't call myself a non-smoker or someone else who had a history of smoking as a smoker. I thought it was really important to not label people, but instead really use person-centric language, which is something that I learned in nursing school. And somehow with my advocacy and my passion for really hoping for change, I had forgotten some of that person-centric language. But that's my hope for everyone, is that we'll really consider the language that we're using, and we'll really look into making sure that we're not actually contributing to stigma through the medical papers that we use, through the way that doctors talk to patients, to the way that patients talk to patients. And so it is really important to consider the things that we're using, that the language that we're using to make sure that we're not contributing to stigma.